Hey everyone, welcome back, and let's write some more Leetcode today. So today let's solve the problem convert binary search tree into a greater tree. So we're given the root of a binary search tree and we want to convert it such that every key of the original binary search tree is changed to be the original value plus the sum of all values that are greater than that one in the binary search tree. So for 4, we want to add to the original value, which is 4, every value that's greater than it, which is going to be 5, 6, 7, and 8 in this case. If we add all of those together and add it to 4, we get a sum of 30. So we want to replace the original value with 30, and we want to do that for every single node in the tree. Now remember, this is a binary search tree, not just a regular tree, so this has some properties that are going to be useful for us. So for a node like this one, where are all the greater nodes going to be? We don't have to search through the entire tree to figure out the new value of this one, because we know that every value greater than 4 is going to be in the right subtree. Every value in the right subtree is greater than 4. That's the definition of a binary search tree. So what we can do is run a DFS on this, take the sum of it, and then add that to the original value. But what you're going to notice then is, okay, we've done the root node, but now we also want to do the same for this node. So for this node, we're going to DFS on the right subtree and add that to the original value. So if we do that for every single node, it's not going to be very efficient, because notice there's some repeated work that's going on. Originally, we wanted to sum this right subtree, and then after we're going to sum this tree. How about we sum the subtree first, and then we sum up the entire tree and then return to the root? Basically what I'm saying is, as we calculate the sum of this subtree, simultaneously we could be filling in the values for all of these nodes. So the question is, what order should we traverse the nodes in? An in-order traversal would be the left subtree, the root, and then the right subtree. But in this case, we're doing the opposite, because notice, if we want to get the new value of this node, we want to sum up this subtree. To get the new value of this node, we need to sum up this subtree. To get the new value of this node, we need to sum up its left subtree. It doesn't have one, so this is the base case. This stays the same. Then we would want to get the left subtree here, but it also doesn't have one. So what we can say is the entire sum of this tree is 8. We return that to our parent. We add 8 to 7. We get 15. Then we take the left subtree from here. It doesn't have one. So we take the entire sum of this subtree, which in this case is 15. We return to our parent. We add 15 to 6. We get 21. Then we do the same for the left subtree. We want to get the sum of the left subtree because we're trying to sum up this entire subtree, but at the same time, what value are we going to add to 5? Because it doesn't have a right subtree. We've been looking at it from the perspective that for every node we just want to take the right subtree, but that's not true, because what we're adding to 5 is going to be this, but also its parent. So what value would we add to 5? We'd add 21. Notice how that's the value of the previous node if we do this in a reverse in-order traversal. So what we can actually do is keep a variable, let's call it current sum, which basically will be the total sum of every node that we've looked at so far. Notice how it matches with what the new value of every node is going to be. Because when we initially started, this was the base case, our sum was 8. Then we add 7, 15. Then we add 6, we get 21. Now we add 5, we get 26. And then once this subtree is done, it doesn't have any children, so we pop back up to the parent, and our current sum is going to be 26. We're going to add 26 to 4, and we're going to get 30. So that's pretty much the algorithm. Let's just run through this really quickly. So far, our current sum is 30. We're going to get to this node. We're not going to add 30 to 1 yet, because there are some more nodes that are greater than this one in its right subtree. So we're going to get to 2. We're going to go down to the right again, and we're going to say, okay, here to this node now, because we're doing reverse in order traversal, to this node, we're going to add 30. We get 33. Then we pop back up to the parent. We add 33 to the parent, which is 2, so we get 35. Next, we pop back up here. We add 35 to 1, we get 36. And then we go to this node, we add 36 to 0, we get 36. So that's the entire algorithm. Notice how we don't do any repeated work. The overall time complexity is going to be big O of n. We're only visiting each node once. The memory complexity is going to be the height of the tree, which could be big O of n, or it could be log n if it's a balanced binary tree. So now let's code it up. There's multiple ways that you can implement this function. I think the easiest is to kind of maintain a global variable, which we're going to call current sum. It's basically going to be the sum of every node that we've visited so far in our DFS. So let's also have a recursive DFS. We're going to pass in whatever node that we're currently at. And from the perspective of this function, current sum is going to be a global variable. Before I code it up, I want to mention that it is possible to do this without a global variable if you, for example, pass in what the current sum is so far as another parameter to this function. And from this function, you return the total sum so far of the subtree. But I think that's a little bit more of a messy and a little bit more of a complicated solution. Using global variables like this is kind of preferred in my opinion. But if you really needed to, you could do it another way. But like usual, this is going to be a depth first search, a reverse in order traversal, I guess you could call it. So for the base case with DFS is always going to be if we don't have a root, we're going to immediately return. That's the base case if the node is empty. Now, though, we're going to get to the DFS. We want to do the right subtree first. So we're going to do node.right. And what this DFS is going to do is it's going to traverse the entire right subtree, and the current sum now should be the sum of the entire right subtree. So now what do? Well, we want to take the root value now, or the node value, the current node value, and add to it what the current sum is so far. And now before we do the DFS on the left subtree, we also want to update the current sum with the current node's value as well. Because remember, we're doing this from right to left, a reverse in order traversal. We want the current sum to be the sum of every node we visited, and the current node has been visited. And then we're going to do the left subtree. There's one problem though here. We're not adding the original node value to the current sum because look, we just modified the original node value. So what we actually have to do is have a temporary variable. In Python, actually, we could put both of these assignments on a single line, but I think it's a little bit more cleaner and self-explanatory to do it this way. So instead of the new node's value, we want to add the original node's value, which I'm calling temp. For me, the hardest part about this problem is honestly trying to catch that little mistake. And another thing you don't want to forget is in Python, if we try to reference a variable like current sum, which is not an object, and we try to reference it, it's going to assume that this is a local variable for our function. But we can see that current sum hasn't been assigned to anything in this function, so what could the value even possibly be? It's going to throw an error the way it's written right now. So what we want to do is declare current sum as a non-local variable. That basically tells it we're actually referencing the variable that's declared out here, which is originally set to 0. Of course, we could have also made current sum a member variable of the class, or you could do it however you want in your language of choice, but that is pretty much the entire code. What we want to do is call the DFS on our root. After we do that, every node in the tree should be updated, and then we can go ahead and return the root of the tree, which I guess is what they wanted us to do. So now let's run it to make sure that it works. And as you can see on the left, yes, it does, and it's very efficient. So I really hope that this was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe. It really supports the channel a lot. Consider checking out my Patreon where you can further support the channel, and hopefully I'll see you pretty soon. Thanks for watching.